All right, Will, welcome back to the show. How we doing tonight?
We're doing good. Thank y'all for having me again.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I hate the last time the crew wasn't able to be here and be with you. Obviously, amazing athlete, amazing character, good to talk to, and so get to dive in a little more to South Carolina baseball. As a matter of fact, Daniel's maybe looking for a new team, just so you know when he gets to time to talk to him. So make sure you sell him right. But before we get into that, man, College Baseball Hub just did their yearly uniform bracket, 64 teams. Will, how does South Carolina not even make the bracket?
Well, we are more of a old school type university, I would say. The biggest thing is the pants. That is something that we are trying to upgrade this year, is the best way to put it. But we will be in that 64 once we start playing and getting our swag back and just looking good, playing good.
Hey, if they start doing parks in this top 64, y'all gonna be making it towards the finals. I know that.
Yeah, we'll be good.
So, did you happen to see the results? Did you happen to see the Final Four was Texas, Notre Dame, Tennessee, Ole Miss? Did you happen to pay attention?
No, but I would assume those Ole Miss Baby Blues are up there.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, and this is what I told people, and so they deserve to be in the top four, but it's all the uniforms combined. It's not just one specific uniform. So it's the whole array of them. And so your Final Four was Texas against Notre Dame, Tennessee against Ole Miss. Tennessee knocked off Ole Miss. Notre Dame knocked off Texas. So the irony was it was Notre Dame versus Tennessee, which was your super regionals matchup on the field. But Tennessee ultimately took it. So I know that you play against Tennessee, but you're familiar with their uniforms. You got any problem with Tennessee winning?
I don't like Tennessee. Um,
Wow.
I just,
Let
you
me get
know,
my popcorn. This is going to be good.
We got a Tennessee host in the house.
Talk to me,
Tennessee
baby.
and I have some drama, I guess, because I went to three camps and they never offered me in high school. So there's kind of some bad blood behind that orange. But one of my favorite uniforms was really Texas A&M. I just Adidas. I mean, not a lot of schools have Adidas with baseball, except like Miami or Louisville or
Mississippi State
somebody.
does too.
Mississippi State. I really liked A&M. We got to go there last year. We lost the series unfortunately, but just everything about their stadium uniform culture was really cool.
Yeah. Well, before we get into all things South Carolina baseball, I'm going to give you a chance to get your shot at Tennessee. Don't think I didn't have this on the notes to talk about. Did you by chance happen to attend the Tennessee South Carolina football game?
Yes, I did. That was
Yeah, tell us. I want to hear. I want to hear how amazing it was.
very unexpected, I would say. At the tailgate, that is not what we thought would happen. But my roommate, my good buddy, he's been a Carolina football fan for his whole life, and so just seeing how like invested he is and his family was was special. And just I mean, we beat number 5 team in the country at home. And then we beat Clemson. I mean, and now Tennessee and Clemson play in a bowl game, so that'll be fun to see.
It really wasn't that special, Will. I got to be honest. Listen. So we had you on a while back, and you kind of alluded to it a little bit that you guys had some injuries, thought that maybe the outlook was a little struggle sometimes, but you guys were good enough. You ruined some teams' weekends, and you specifically ruined some teams' weekend. Turned out that the predictions were right. Did struggle a little bit, but you going through the season, just how hard was it for you guys to get going and get your footing under you?
Well, it was difficult because we really didn't have three starters. We would run a freshman out there on Fridays, and I don't want to speak bad, but we would lose most of those games. And it was up to me and Noah to give us a chance on Saturday and Sunday, and that's all we could do. And we talked to the coaching staff, and we don't care what game we pitch, what day we pitch. I mean, in the SEC, you play 3 games, you got to win 2 of them at the end of the day. So it doesn't matter what day we get the ball, but this year's going to be a lot different. I can tell you that.
I like to hear it. I like to hear it. So you start off the season, you take the series from Texas, and I think that was a surprise to some that were out on looking on. But we'll talk about just how fun that series was and just how locked in you were specifically in your performance in that game.
Well, that was a big series for us because the week before that we got swept by Clemson, and we were hosting the number one team in the country at that point, and I think they had lost one game. Maybe they were undefeated. They lost to, because I think Tennessee beat them at the Astro Stadium.
Oh, we did not.
No, Minute Maid. No, they didn't beat
Yeah.
him there. I was there for that game.
Tough game.
No, Texas lost to, but he's not wrong.
They had one loss.
UCLA, I think it was.
Somebody. So I mean, anyway, it's a big series for us, and we lost that Friday game, and somehow we were praying for rain, and we got lucky enough to play a doubleheader, I think, on Saturday. And so the first game of that doubleheader was 7 innings, and I kind of treated it like a travel ball start. And so y'all know Blade. Blade and I would always have competitions on just if you're playing a travel ball game, it's 7 innings. As a pitcher, you're supposed to go 7 innings. And so that Texas game, we were up 4-1 in the 6th, and I think I walked 5 people because I walked a run in, and they get 4-2, and we beat them 4-2, and then we really beat them game 3, 10-1. So it was really cool that we had that because we knew it was in us. We needed our hitters to hit and our pitchers to pitch. And so that was kind of the biggest thing, like this offseason, was just build something for us, because I can speak for the people that were in my class, because there's only about 4 of us left. And this is the best year we've been a part of. And it's kind of because we can run it the way we want to, the way we've seen the older people run it when we were younger. We know what we want, and now we're doing it. And so it's a great place to be in Columbia right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned you don't like Tennessee, which is fine. But we talk about the series, obviously, just how good their offense was last year, and the pitching staff too. But for you specifically, it was a game that you struggled. I'm not going to throw any digs, even though you threw some at my team. But for you specifically, just what did that game mean to you with that personal, vendetta you had, and just how filthy was that lineup 1 through 9?
The lineup was great. I started to struggle in the first. It was hard to get out. Luke Lipsius, I think, was in the 2-hole, and I threw him a 3-2 fastball, and he put it over the wall. And that was kind of we're here. And I had to fight through it. I think the 3rd inning, it was a 0-0 pitch to Jordan Beck. It was a slider, and he hit it way far over the fence. And then we get into the 5th, and I get pulled. But the next day, we're in the weight room, and we're just working out, and Jordan and Tony are in there. And Tony and I were talking, and he introduced me to Jordan because I've never met him. I played with Drew and Blade, but not Jordan. And just seeing how humble and kind of appreciative he is of the game made me change my perspective on kind of him and the team. Because I would tell my teammates, Tennessee was good. We didn't, anybody who plays them will tell you they're very good. The way they act on the field is not necessarily who they are as people, because Drew Gilbert is one of the coolest, nicest people I've ever met. But if you're playing against him, you don't like him. And so it's cool to see how they translate off the field. And so it was a good experience to talk to Jordan and just see kind of how he handles his business. And he was a high draft pick as a reward of that.
Then he cut his hair, so I'm just not really sure how things are going to go for him. I don't know.
But Randy, how good is that to have a guy from another team confirm what we've been trying to tell people, because we have these guys on the show, and just like he said, Drew. Drew's been the number one guy. Everybody thinks he's this maniac, and he's not.
Well, he is, and
between the lines, he is. But
yeah,
but
so
outside,
I think the consensus, and DB, you can correct me if I'm wrong, from their opponents was the same thing. Like, they're brash and they talk ish on the field, but when you get them off the field, they're regular dudes, humble with the game. It's just not how they roll inside the lines.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with they've done something one time, they got a reaction, so now they feel as though, well, that's the persona that I got to play when I'm in between the lines, which, good, bad, and different, it works for them. And if that's what, fills the ballpark, whatever. But at the end of the day, I think we've had people on here, Will, you yourself included, that says the same thing about those guys off the field, like good quality guys, character guys. So, um, you know, obviously competitive nature takes over when you're between the lines. Because I've seen some clips. I've seen you get pumped
Getting
up a little
after it.
bit, yeah.
So
Which
Will,
is good, though.
let me ask Will a question. In light of all this, I don't know if you saw today, Will, that Evan Russell announced his retirement. Let me ask you a question. How impressed from a pitcher's perspective were you by Evan Russell making a switch from left field to catcher and catching all those arms that are, obviously amazing at Tennessee this year?
Well, I did not see his retirement. That is shocking because I always liked watching Evan. I mean, as you know, opposing teams get there and get to watch BP of the other team. And Evan kind of always stood out to me. I mean, I would watch college baseball when I was in high school, and he was playing third base, left field, second base. I mean, whatever it is. And then this year he changes to a catcher and he's catching 104. And so Ben and I got to work out in a place in Atlanta. He was at Walters State at that point, and Ben Anzac. And so they would drive to the place 30 minutes away from my house. And so it's just everybody acts like they're all big and tough on the field, but at the end of the day, the game's hard. Everybody knows that. And so it reflects. And so there is karma. I mean, there is if you act kind of bad towards people, it's going to bite you at the end of the day.
Very true.
I did not know Evan retired. That is sad to hear, but I was always impressed with him. Just the way he plays. He's a gamer and he loves to play, and just that really is sad to hear.
Yeah, no doubt. But we want to get back to you, Will. So there's only two teams in the SEC that we I'm not gonna say hate, that we just don't really like, right? For me.
Why are you lying? Why are you lying? Say hate.
I don't hate. I don't hate. There's Florida and Vanderbilt. Well, you, my friend, big fan of yours, because against Vandy, you go out 7 innings, 11 Ks, get the win. Talk to me specifically about what was working and what got you dialed in for that game in particular, because everybody knows Vandy is an upper echelon team in the SEC. They're always good, multiple national titles. What was working for you that day?
Vandy is always good. They're well coached. They're well behaved on the field, off the field, and we actually picked up a Vandy transfer that was cool to kind of give us an insight on what really goes on behind the scenes. But what locked me in that game was I thought Enrique was going to swing at the first pitch, and he watched it go down the middle of the plate, and it was 0-1. I threw him another fastball, and he watched it, and it was 0-2, and then I throw him a curveball, and it was supposed to be in the dirt, but it was a strike, and he watched it. And so Enrique is a very good hitter. I don't know really what he was doing or what he was looking for, but hopefully it happens again this year. But that Vandy game was tough. I mean, I think I gave up like 6 hits, but it was only 2 runs.
11
It was a
Ks.
quality team. One of the hitters that stood out was Davis Diaz, the freshman. He was good. I threw him I want to say it was a 2-2 changeup, and he hit it backside for a double in like the 6th. And he sees the ball well, and that's kind of the hardest hitters to pitch to, is like Dylan. He gets on the plate, he sees the ball well, and he puts the bat on the ball. Those are just it's all hitting is vision, and it's hard to beat the hitters that see it well, because then that's when deception comes in, and you got to find other ways to beat them.
No, absolutely. So overall on the season for you, you go 7-3, 3.43 ERA, 91 Ks to 31 walks. How did you feel about your season compared to the expectations you had for yourself before the season started?
Well, my expectation was 10 wins. I failed to reach that, and so that was kind of what pushed me this year. My goal is 12 wins, because hopefully we'll make a better run, and we're going to have the hitters and defense to back me up. But success is so individually oriented, I want to say, because some people said I was successful because I had 7 wins and 90 innings, but I had 3 losses, and I had about 4 non-decisions. So that kind of tells me my job as a starting pitcher was not finished. It was not executed all of the time. And so it gives me the want to work to be successful all the time. And it is a hard game. Like, you're not going to win all the time, but winning is the expectation. Like, I'm not doing all this stuff to prepare to lose. I'm preparing to win. And when I fail, that's when I learn from it.
No, absolutely. So, in saying that, you kind of led me right into it. What is the one thing you feel like you need to improve on to get to your 12-win goal, and pitch better than you did this last year?
The biggest thing was the walks. I don't know if I've ever walked 30 people in a year before. I mean, it was a lot, but most of that has to do with there was nobody in the bullpen. Like, I was out on my own, and I would much rather walk somebody and try to make the perfect pitch than get beat with a blooper and then a double and then a bomb. So I was I don't want to say I'm happy with the walks, but I want to say I understand the walks. And so that's just we're going to have such a different team this year. We're going to have such a different pitching staff, and so hopefully I can attack the zone more and get quality pitches and get quality hitters out within my pitch count and get deeper into games.
So, well, I gotta ask, man. Obviously, you mentioned you want to win 10 games last year was the goal, 12 games this year. But when you look back at last year and you go, all right, what are my opportunities to do that this year? Let's say 12 to 14 times you're going to get on the bump, right? Is there any pressure for you knowing, like, my goal is 12 wins? That means I got to win almost every single time I step foot on the mound. Obviously, that's the goal, but what is the pressure like, and is there pressure?
Every single Monday is a new week. I'm trying to go 1-0 that week. Like, my goal right now in December is 12 wins, but once the season comes around, I'm not thinking about the number 12. I'm thinking about get one more. Go one more inning, make one more pitch. Just that's the way I want to treat it off the field, and it'll correlate to on the field. And
That I feel like you're going to be a coach one day, because that is the most coach speak I've ever heard. It's like, yeah, man, we're just going to take it one day at a time and one start at a time. And, I'll play it week by week, which, is entirely true. Everything that you're saying is true, because you can't necessarily look forward to anything, but you also, no matter whether you do well or you do bad, you can't sit there and dwell on the past either. So let me ask you this: with last year in the past and this year, looming forward, you guys got through the fall. When I hear South Carolina is a dark horse in the SEC, what does that mean to you?
I think it means our pitchers have worked incredibly hard and are going to show it in the spring. I think it means our coaching staff went to the ends of the transfer portal to find us good players and find us good teammates, and it's all going to show. I mean, I can't speak highly enough of our staff and what they did to get us great players, but there's going to be a lot of people that hit over 310, and there's going to be a lot of RBIs coming from the whole lineup. And it's just we have a lot more competition. We have a lot more drive as a whole unit team, and everybody's excited. And we didn't really have that last year, and so that's what we really wanted to work on in the summer and in the fall, is just every day is an opportunity to get better. And if you're not, you're the loser, not the people that want to get better are the outcasts or losers. It's just we're all on the same team. We all have to get better every day because we got to play good teams. I mean, we don't play Texas this year, but really our out of conference schedule is not great. Not that we're gonna kind of push them under the rug. They're still college baseball teams, but we were kind of disappointed because we're not playing high teams out of the SEC. But we still play Clemson. We don't have Texas that week before SEC starts.
You got North Carolina, even though it's a midweek. That's still going to be a big game.
Yeah, it's just we need to win those games. And last year that was kind of the biggest downfall of us was we would beat Texas, we would beat Ole Miss, beat Vandy, and we would lose in the midweeks. and that attests to pitching. We didn't have it, and everybody's working hard to come back in the spring.
So, when you tell me about, really it's just there's a lot of work going in. Coaches are working, training staffs are working, the players are undoubtedly working. Like that's my kind of people. And I say that to tell you this is Randy obviously is a Tennessee fan. He follows Tennessee baseball very closely. Me being a part of this podcast, I obviously follow, the game close. But Jim has LSU, he has Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Like he's got connections to all of those. I and
You gonna
he's
give me all of them, huh? You gonna give me
he's
all of them?
he's laughing, and I'm gonna give him all of them. Will, here's why. He's got an LSU sweatshirt on. All right, he's family friends with everybody at Mississippi State. And last year he had season tickets to Ole Miss, so I don't know what to think. So I am in the middle of this like gauntlet of I don't really have a team to follow. So I'm looking for a team. I'm looking for grinders. I'm looking for hard work. I'm looking for guys that are the dark horse. So let me ask you this. If I follow South Carolina, and you said it yourself, there's something special happening in Columbia right now. Is that the right choice?
I think it would be foolish not to follow us.
Okay.
I think we're gonna let the world know what South Carolina baseball is. Because 10 years ago we were great. We won 2 national championships back to back, and that started with the players, and it started with how everybody shows up every single day. And that's something that we're doing. That's something that we're proud of, and we're waiting to make a shock in the world.
All right. So, I think I'm on board. So the first thing that I need to do is I need some info, and I can only get this deep rooted info from guys on the team. So tell me, based on the fall, you said, the pitching staff's going to be much improved. All right. Outside of Will Sanders, who are some guys that I need to know?
Noah Hall has one of the best changeups in the country. Jack Mahoney is going to be 95, 97 with a power slider and a good curveball. Eli Jersenbeck's a freshman. He's up to 97, and that kid is ridiculous how he can throw a baseball. I've never seen anything like it. He'll throw a fastball at 29 and throw a curveball at 32, and his fastball will be 97 and his changeup will be 80. That kid's going to play.
That just doesn't seem fair.
No, he's good.
So let me ask you this. Bullpen, thinking about the bullpen, does it feel good knowing that when you start a game, you got guys on the back end of that bullpen that can dig you out of a jam if you need to, or maintain leads and continue to establish dominance throughout the whole game, so you don't feel like, oh, I got to go out there and throw a CG every time I step foot on the mound?
What feels good is we could win a series if none of those 4 names that I just mentioned pitched. We've got 15 dudes that we could run out there and win us games. It's just who gets the opportunity to do it. If the rotation probably at the beginning of the year will be me, Noah, and Jack, and that's just because we've been there the longest. It's kind of deferred to us. I want to say is just our whole staff is good, and everybody's working. Everybody's on the same team. It doesn't matter who goes out there. Doesn't matter what day, what game, who we play. Whoever's on that mound is going to give us a good chance to win. And I can't speak highly enough of our defense and our hitters. Just we're on the rise.
So you kind of alluded to hitters. Obviously, the pitching staff can only do so much. You're going to have to put the ball in play. You're going to have to drive runs across the board. So talk to me a little bit about the hitting situation. Who are some guys that you think are going to continue to have big seasons, or some guys that are gonna, surprise people, because their name's gonna be out there this year?
Well, the first one that comes to mind, his name is Caleb Denny. He's a fifth-year senior from Oklahoma. He went to Arkansas his freshman year, and he's an outfielder and a left-handed hitter. And he tore his labrum his freshman year at Arkansas. Got cut, went to Oral Roberts, and I'm pretty sure hit 330 all 3 years after that. And the first day he gets on campus in Columbia, it was, I think, like August 15th. Goes out there, fields a ball, throws it from right field, and tears his UCL, which is nothing that South Carolina has not seen. But the kid works. And so when I was starting my bullpens at the end of the fall, he would stand in and just kind of help me see tell me what a hitter would see, tell me what he sees, what he doesn't see, just kind of help us both grow. Caleb Denny's he's gonna hit, and he sees the ball well, and so we kind of recruited a lot of hitters. So Gavin Cassis from Vandy, he was hurt 2 years at Vandy, and so now he's really getting a chance. And I think he hit 8 home runs in the fall, and he can check swing, and it'll still be 105 off the bat. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody with more raw power. Maybe his brother, but Gavin's going to play for us, and he's going to hit well and hit a lot of bombs. Really, sorry, hold on. Let me just throw this other guy in there. Will McGillis, who went to Southern Miss. He was from Mississippi. I'm not sure where, but went to Southern Miss for 4 years, transferred here, and he's going to play second base for us. And he's a great kid, great player, and I'm excited to play next to him. So those are kind of the 3 highlighted hitters, I would say.
It's nice to know when you get a transfer in and they come from a school and they can swing the stick, or they can get out, or you've already seen them kind of dominate where they were. There's no like mystery as to, can this guy come in and compete right away? You already know it. But thinking about the schedule as a whole, I want to break it down a little bit. Obviously, you mentioned a little disappointment in the non-conference schedule, but really the good thing is about the SEC, man, it's the best baseball in the country, and you're going to get it every single weekend. So the competition's going to be there, the challenge, the fight, it's all going to come. But, when you talk about the schedule in conference play, you get to host LSU, Florida, Tennessee. Which of those would you say you're most excited about?
I don't know if I can say one of them. I mean, because what I like to do is find reasons why I don't like a school, and just that's what builds it up inside of me. So, I mean, I can think of all reasons why I want to beat those teams badly. But we get to host those teams, yes, but we got to go to Starkville, and we got to go to Fayetteville, which is going to be, and Nashville. Yeah. So we got 3 hard tests. I mean, the whole league is so good. It's a blessing to be able to play in it, and it's cool to play in front of all those fans.
Will's cut your script, didn't he, DB?
No, I mean, I'm getting the trend here. He I ask him which home series is he looking forward to. He gives me the coach speak answer. Oh, all of them, of course, and then, you start mentioning, how excited you are for, the the away conference games. You mentioned Starkville, you mentioned Nashville, Fayetteville. But I got to ask, of those schools, obviously a lot of history, a lot of prestige coming from those campuses in regards to baseball, but which is the place where you're like, man, this is a great place to play. I'm pumped to be able to go here and play.
Well, I'm not going to be able to get to go there again, but A&M was maybe one of the best I've ever seen.
But you've been to Dudy Noble before, right?
I've not.
Oh, well, that's going to change your whole perspective.
So I have not been to Mississippi State or Arkansas, and I've heard.
Oh wow, no joke. Will Randy will say this is the Tennessee guy. Oh, you're probably talking about the two best atmospheres probably in the SEC.
No, I'm not going to say that.
Yes, you're a liar if you don't agree.
No, I'm not going to say that.
You been watching the last 2 years?
Ooh.
I have been watching. Have you?
Y'all can't even
No,
feel you.
I'm talking to Jim.
Oh,
They can only hold 6,000 there, man. I don't want to hear it.
Hey,
what did your coach that we retired say? It was the most hostile and loudest environment he had ever seen in his career. And that man coached for like 117 years.
Well, Jay Johnson didn't say that, and I can't wait to see y'all at the box.
That's because Jay Johnson was too worried about leading the SEC in errors. He didn't have to worry about that atmosphere.
oh, wow.
Okay.
Man, this is going off the rails quick. Well, I want to ask you this last thing before, Jim gets back with you. Obviously, there's a lot of talk about, how tall you are. You're 6'6" listed in the books, but you look like you're 7 foot tall on the mound. I don't know if it's the pants. I don't know if it's long socks. I don't know if you really are 7 feet, but like, what is it, man? Are you 6'6" or like where are we at? Is 6'6" that padded stat where really you're 6'4", but you're telling people you're 6'6"?
Well, everybody on the team. So there have been like 4 people that were 6'6" on the team since I've been there, and I've been taller than all of them. But I think the pants definitely help.
I need some of those pants.
He's like
Y'all got the good pants.
he's like the hockey guys that look way bigger on the ice than they do in real life because they're sitting there on 4-inch blades and they just look like beasts. So a guy that's like 6'4" looks like he's 7 feet skating around there. It's crazy.
Yeah, now, Will, you don't get to hear it, but when you watch a South Carolina game and you listen to the commentators, they actually talk about the pants and socks, and that's the comments they make. They say, you really do. You look like you're 7 foot out there because of the style that you wear. So, I mean, hey, maybe it looks more threatening. I don't know. I dig it. Daniel always says length is key. So
It is. And let me tell you this. I am a proponent of length. All right. Just throwing that out there, Will. But also, I'll say this. When I'm doing the research and I'm looking up the clips and I'm trying to like get an idea, just kind of see, what all's out there. When I see videos of you pitching, the sound that the ball makes when it hits the catcher's mitt is by far the loudest of any athlete, any pitcher, anybody we've had on this show. So you, my friend, hold that title, but also I feel like I gotta tell you, I think I'm gonna be following the Gamecocks this year. I feel like it goes together. Length and Gamecocks. It's got to go together, right?
Well, I like the sound of that. I didn't know that the ball makes a cool sound. It's probably because it's closer than most.
I think we got guests like Ben Joyce that might disagree with that there. So,
Yeah.
Daniel.
Well, then they need to get better audio. I don't know what to tell you, but it's big time with Will. I'm telling you.
All right, Will. So we got to get to some non-baseball stuff. You're our last baseball guest before Christmas, and so you get to go through the gauntlet of an important question. And it's an important question because it's supposed to be fun, but if you say the wrong thing, there's no telling what might come from the three of us. So I don't need a specific order, but man, give me your top 5 Christmas movies.
First one that comes to my mind is Die Hard.
We're done.
I mean,
it's not even a Christmas movie.
Look, Daniel, I think he did that on purpose. I feel like he did that on purpose. Had to have.
That's what my dad and I always watch at Christmas time. But I like Santa Claus. That's good. Prep and Landing is kind of what we always watch as a family. I don't know if y'all seen that. It's like a little animated elf.
Haven't seen
What was it
that one.
called?
Have to check it
Prep
out.
and Landing?
Yeah, Prep and Landing.
Randy's
check
gonna
it.
watch it with his kids tomorrow. Lock it up.
No, we're
It's
doing
good.
every night. Every night we're doing a different movie.
It's like a 30-minute show, but it's good.
Perfect. I got 4 kids, Will. I don't have a lot of attention spans.
That's perfect. I got 2 more.
Daniel, if he doesn't have a certain movie on there, I'm cutting this episode, deleting the whole thing.
We're gonna have to delete this part out. Edit. Out.
You gave me those 5. I got 3. I'm just trying to think of of
Well,
names.
I don't know if Randy's with me and Daniel for sure. I think he is, but there's one that's at the top of our list that you haven't said yet. It better be in these last two, Will. I'm just telling you.
I mean, my number one is I, I have
Not
a
Die
feeling
Hard.
like it's not Die Hard, but I feel like Will like
It's
this is
like a generational thing too, though. I mean, it's an age thing.
it might be. Yeah,
It is.
true.
It is. You can ask
All
my
right.
wife.
Die
Con-
Hard is
continue, Will.
hold on, wait,
I'll
time
let
out.
you.
Hold on, no,
you
I'm
go
not gonna
ahead.
let it
That was from
continue.
his dad. That was
But,
he said him and his
okay,
dad watched
I
it.
was to say because Die Hard is older than the movie we're referencing. Okay, gotcha. Feel you.
I'm trying to think of two, and I can't even think. Will you tell me yours, and I'll tell you if I like it?
All right, Home
All right.
Alone is the
Let
movie
Okay,
we're referencing.
all right. That's like an original. I would say that's top 5.
There you
Christmas Vacation.
That is the other one. I would say Christmas Vacation's good.
What
go.
do, what do you,
Go ahead.
what do y'all feel about the Grinch? Is it
Which one?
like so? I think the old cartoon version of the Grinch is the
It's
one
the
that I
only
like.
acceptable version.
This is the only
Mm,
one that I
I'm-
like the best. But when you have a kid, you end up watching them all. But
Oh, for sure.
when
there-
I put the Grinch on the list, we already know like which one we're talking.
Daniel, there are 15 high school soccer players that are in the next room watching the Jim Carrey version that will disagree because that's the version they chose.
That is the
Jim
worst
Carrey's a good
version.
one.
It is the absolute worst version the Grinch has
No,
ever
me
made.
and Will are
It's
actually on the same
awful.
page of this one.
It's
we're with you.
terrible.
It's
But-
better than the cartoon.
Oh,
Look. You didn't even say Home Alone, bro. Let's calm down.
I think Christmas Story is on there. Elf is a good one. I could see that on people's. Like, I mean, even if you want to go old school, Will, you could go Rudolph, like old school Rudolph, old school Frosty. I mean,
Hey,
Old
you know
school
what?
Frosties, though. That's a banger.
I respected Die Hard because he said it was him and his dad, and then he had one that we didn't even know, and I think that's even cooler because he's got his own thing, and now we got something we're challenged to watch because we don't know about it. So I'm good with it. And he said Home Alone in the end, even though we gave it to him. So he's gonna get by on that one. But let's get to like you and your family personally. Aside from watching Die Hard, man, what's your favorite Christmas tradition that you do?
Well, so not a lot of people know I changed my residency to Florida, and so right now I'm in Atlanta. But tomorrow, my sister and I are going to Destin, which is where our house is. And so my whole childhood growing up, my grandparents would always come to Atlanta and spend Christmas with us. And so my grandfather was career Air Force, and so he's actually in San Antonio, Texas. It's a place called the ARC. I'm not sure what it stands for, but it's retired Air Force, or I guess captains. And so you have to be at a certain level, and they're there and they love it. And so they're going to meet us in Destin, which is really good of them because they're older, but it's a 10-hour drive. And so we're thankful that they're going to come see us.
Yeah,
That's kind of the biggest thing, is just seeing them, because they were such big influences on my life, and it's always good to see them Christmas time.
Well, it's good to have that family aspect, but it's also good to go to Florida because I'm going to tell you, Will, I was there last week and it was 82 degrees, and now I'm home. And as Randy knows, because we live just down the road, we're going to be in single digits at the end of the week, and we're not looking forward to it. So Florida is a nice destination to be.
look, let me tell you this. I woke up this morning, it's 49 degrees outside. So
You were freezing, huh?
yes.
Daniel, I'm not kidding.
Hence, I got a jacket on now. It's like 50.
Friday night it's going to be 5 degrees here. All right,
Wow.
that's all I'm saying.
That's what it's gonna feel like here.
So I do have a question. I just mentioned my daughter's high school soccer team is out there doing their Christmas event. Will, for guys, in college, like, because obviously y'all leave and go home before Christmas comes. Do y'all do anything as a team? Like, I know I saw Mississippi State did a ugly sweater Christmas party. Do y'all do anything as a team together before y'all depart?
So we did a team event, I want to say like December 5th, because that was the last day that coaches could coach us technically. And so most everybody stayed in Columbia and worked out and did their throwing and hitting, whatever they needed to do. But I actually drove home earlier today. So this was kind of the week everybody departs from Columbia. But that was something that we wanted to do, is stay over break for at least 2 weeks and just work out together and keep building it, and just doing everything we can to be prepared for the spring as a team. And so we've been doing something at Fort Jackson, which is a local Army base. And so we'll go and do obstacle courses. We did a tower rappel. And then the most recent one, our last team event, was like, I wish they would show a video, because I was trying to explain it to my parents, and it's so hard to explain. But we had to do these almost simulations where there was groups of like 10. So we had 4 groups, and there would be teams, and we'd have to race, but it was like a more mental thing. So we had to think, and it was cool. And it's just team bonding and getting closer to each other, and kind of, I mean, when people in uniforms are in your face yelling at you, it's much different than trying to field a ground ball with the bases loaded.
Now I really feel like South Carolina's going to be ready. Daniel, the rest of these teams doing ugly Christmas sweater parties, dude, they're hitting the Army bases.
Yeah, because that's what champions do, right, Will?
Right.
Oh man, hey, well, let's have some fun, man. Before we let you bounce, let's play a little game called This or That. You ready?
Okay.
All right, it's very, very simple. I give you 2 options. All you got to do is choose one option or the other. Be decisive. Don't say both. Don't say neither. Just go with your gut and pick the first one that speaks to you. All right.
Last time we did this, I got asked if a hot dog was a sandwich, and I got some heat for it.
But
What was your answer?
Yes, I'm ready for this. Tell them what the answer was, Will.
I said it was a sandwich.
Yes, sir.
That's an awful, terrible answer.
I forgot until he brought it up, and he was one of like the 4 or 5 guys that backed me on this.
I'm banking that more players on this Gamecock baseball team has better Christmas picks and believe that hot dogs are not a sandwich, because
I just don't understand how they could not be.
Daniel, as he happened to bring up Minute Maid Park today, I had a hot dog sandwich there, Will. That's where I became a believer.
It's not a hot dog. Once they slice it in flats, it's no longer a traditional hot dog.
It's not traditional. It was still a hot dog. Daniel, does this turn you away at all in South Carolina that Will answer this?
He's going to have to really think about this now.
Yeah. I got some soul searching to do over this Christmas vacation. No, I'm good, man. That's your opinion. If you want it to be a sandwich and you want to be wrong the rest of your life, don't say I didn't tell you so. But no, we're not talking hot dogs. We're not talking sandwiches. What we are talking is ham or turkey. Which one? Turkey? I'm not a turkey guy. I think turkey is very overrated.
See, if you cook a turkey and it's dry, that's not good turkey. But like on a sandwich, I will not ever get ham.
Have you ever heard of this amazing place called Honey Baked Ham?
I knew that.
That is the only acceptable type of ham.
They don't call it Honey Baked Turkey. They call it Honey Baked Ham for a reason, because ham is better, more marketable, more people like it, and they know, like I know, turkey's overrated.
But Daniel, I think of it like this, especially because turkey was a part of the equation when we talked to Alex Milazzo, the catcher from LSU. With all these, it depends on who's cooking it. Plain, simple, period. How they marinating it, how they cooking it. It that's what it all depends on.
Maybe that's it. I've never had a good turkey in my entire life. I don't know. I've had it numerous ways, and I just not my thing, I guess. But moving on, I gotta know. Obviously, Christmas Day, presents, breakfast, the whole 9. You got a chance to sit back, relax, but you always have sports on. NBA, NFL, Christmas Day. Which one are you choosing? Are you choosing the gridiron or the hardwood?
I don't think an NBA game has ever been on the TV in my house.
Ooh.
My parents, they like football and baseball. I don't think my parents have ever watched an NBA game, ever.
And he's 6'6". This is wild.
I can tell you, there's going to be a good one this Christmas, a real good one. So just look
Hey,
out.
a bad time to try to sell them on the Grizzlies Warriors when Steph Curry ain't playing, dude.
It don't matter.
See,
play-
John Morant's good. I mean, I think basketball is a very difficult sport to play because those bodies just do unbelievable things. 82 times a year.
No, they don't have to do it 82 times. It's called load management. They play about 55.
But he
I
said
mean,
he
Like,
likes
they're like pitchers. They play
but-
every 3 days.
But he just won you over because he said he likes Ja Morant, and that's your guy. So
Hey, we'll let you slide. We'll go with it. All right, Will, would you rather go to the beach or the lake?
Beach.
For sure. I mean, you moved to Destin for crying out loud. Got to be a beach guy if you're moving there, right?
Houses on the beach. It's nice.
There we go. If you could pick a bucket list concert or a bucket list sporting event, which one would you choose?
See, I like concerts, but I feel like an atmosphere at a World Series game or at a Super Bowl just can't be beaten.
I feel you. I'm right there.
let me ask you a question, Daniel, because our last guest said one that hadn't been said before, and obviously it just took place. World Cup. You know, you're not a soccer guy, but did you happen to see that crowd in that event, Daniel? Like, did Eric on the last episode maybe sway you now that you saw that?
No, because it's unbelievable to me
That you
that
could win a World Cup.
a World Cup ends in a tie, and then by this luck thing called PKs, we're going to determine the winner of something that only
Hey.
happens every 4 years. Give me a break.
Did y'all happen to see the TV ratings for the World Cup versus the NFL? Regular season NFL.
Not even close.
Not NFL. Everybody tells me that soccer is the biggest sport in the world. This was worldwide rankings. This wasn't US rankings. The NFL dwarfed it.
Well, I'll say this: the coolest thing I saw from it was that drone that they had going over Argentina in the downtown.
That was
square.
cool.
Dude. How many people on a guess do you venture were there, Randy?
Millions. I mean, there had to be. That was
Did
the
you see
loudest
that,
thing
Will?
I've ever heard.
I saw that drone, but World Cup, I mean, the PKs, I think that's cool, but I don't think that's how they should end the World Cup final. But I've never really watched a soccer game. I watched that game, and I mean, Mbappe scored 2 points or 2 goals in 90 seconds, and that was unreal. Just
That was
good.
Yeah, no, that was ridiculous. But you said World Series. I'm curious if you could pick 2 teams to be in this World Series Game 7 that you're at. Who are they?
Man, 2 teams that I could choose. My dad's favorite team since he was growing up is the Orioles, and they're not very good, so I would choose them.
That's tough.
And Orioles and Braves, I guess I would say, because they never play each other. That would be a cool World Series.
There we
Decent.
go.
Decent. All right. If it was a concert, though, who would be playing?
And why would it be Lainey Wilson?
She is phenomenal.
Isn't she though?
I don't even know who that is, and the fact that you had that connection with him, there's something that I missed clearly.
You just
She used to sing for Morgan Wallen or
Yeah.
Party or somebody.
and she's on Yellowstone now. It really got her the mainstream break. And let me tell you something, boys. You want to talk about how pants make somebody look good? Woo.
Well, now you got me. Now I might look, but you country music, you lost me and Daniel immediately.
Look, Will, they don't appreciate good music, man. They really don't.
Lainey
Don't-
Wilson has a very good voice.
Crazy good voice. And they don't like Morgan Wallen. I mean, they just don't like anything good.
But
man.
this is coming from a guy that was bumping Project Pat and 3-6 Mafia on the way to school every day. So I don't.
This is true, but this is called you got to have diversity, Daniel.
He's had growth, is what he's looking.
No, I listened to country my whole life. I did not listen to country when we were in high school.
Man, I don't remember you listening to it in 7th grade. I'm just saying.
Well,
Certainly.
Let me ask this then. Let's take it a step deeper. What's the last song that was playing in your car, Will?
Let me just think for a second.
You just drove, right?
Yeah, 3.5 hour drive. That's the bottom of the playlist.
I'm just laughing thinking about. I
I'm-
can't even remember who it was that said that they didn't have music on, that they were driving in silence recently. Daniel, who was that while Will's thinking?
Man, I don't know. I probably didn't pay it no mind because that's just crazy. That's just silly.
So I'm on my Spotify, and the song that is paused is "Watermelon Crawl" by Tracy Bird.
Great song. If you drink, don't drive, do the watermelon crawl.
Oh
That is
Man.
my goodness,
Tell me I
Water-
didn't listen to country in high school. That song is, we were
I
probably in
know-
elementary school when it came out.
Daniel,
know
that's
that
the
song.
intro. That's the intro to this episode.
Yeah, I gotta put that down. I've heard that song before. I mean,
That's
I'm not foreign to country music, but I don't know what the hype is about Morgan Wallen. I will say that, man. It's not my cup of tea.
The women that go to the concerts.
Tell
No,
him, tell
Look,
him.
man, I
I,
ain't-
I actually I got a new one for you, Daniel. I got to ask Randy a question, and then we'll follow up on it. All right, tell me y'all don't listen to this Jelly Roll cat, please.
I absolutely do. I love Jelly Roll.
Oh, Randy, you're off this podcast, bro. Forget Will. being off.
I love Jelly Roll. And
Will,
if
do
you
you
know
listen to this guy?
His story is even better.
I've heard the story, but Will, do you listen to this guy?
I've never heard Jelly Roll.
Thank God.
Oh, yes, I have. Son of a
Oh
Sinner.
no,
Son of a
No,
Sinner.
walk it back.
Thank you.
Walk it back.
It's a
No.
great song.
man,
That's the only song.
I guess I'm living under a rock because I've never heard anything by Jelly Roll. I heard the Tootsie Roll.
I actually like I've known Jelly Roll for a long time, way before he was mainstream. I'm glad he's getting his breakout. He just sold out Bridgestone Arena, packed to the gills, his own show, headlining. That's awesome.
Hey,
And
go
then
get it, man.
donated the proceeds to the youth detention facility where he was locked up for 3 years. Tell me that ain't a good story, Will.
That was cool of him. Wow. Where's the place you just said?
Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he ain't going there.
pretty good. That's a pretty good story. All right, Will, back on topic. Would you rather be a hero or a villain?
Hero.
And who's your favorite hero?
I'd say Superman, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if I would have a belief strong enough to make me a villain, to do something to that extreme. I don't know what it would take. I mean, maybe losing to LSU or something.
Well, you better get ready
Wow. Wow. How are you going to hate on my dude, Will, like that?
because LSU's going to win the national championship, bro. 3 first team All-Americans. Let's go.
Man, you know what?
He's got to see all of them in the lineup.
Yeah,
When
they're all
they-
quitters.
When they get the #1 overall seed, let me know how that goes for you.
Yeah,
Can't
no,
wait.
That's why.
Can't
That's why I got.
wait
Tennessee, that's why I
for
got
that.
Tennessee at 1 and LSU at 2. The final ranking. Hey, let me ask you, Will. Do you believe in that? Look, all right. So since 1999, the #1 ranked team hasn't been able to do it. Do you believe that #1 ranking is a curse?
I think they did a lot of things right to get that #1 spot. Just, I don't know if it's a curse, but luck runs out at some point.
Randy, luck ran out for Tennessee,
Luck-
bro.
Well, okay.
Let's
Let's take it back. Let's take it back.
AKA Jack Brannigan.
Let's take it back though.
Mr.
Past
Luck.
that though,
Oh, yeah,
we're
we-
talking 23 years of the same thing happening. It wasn't just Tennessee. It was Arkansas the year before. I mean, it's been 24 teams.
Will, let me make bring a big smile to your face and tell you that this man right here, Randy, had to look Jack Brannigan in the face right after. He was our next episode after Notre Dame eliminated Tennessee.
Wow.
It was a struggle for my guy.
Nah, he was so cool, man. It wasn't a struggle. I
He
told
is-
everybody coming into the season, into that series, that was the one matchup I didn't want Tennessee to have, and for a reason. That was with a bunch of grown ass men on Notre Dame, all throughout Notre Dame's lineup. They had a bunch of pitchers. That dude had BAMF on his freaking glove, man. I was scared.
I mean, Randy wanted to hate this guy so bad, but he was such a great dude, such a nice dude, and I think Randy was secretly pissed off because he has to like this guy.
Well, when you say this, he goes, I think Tennessee was the best team in the country. They just weren't the best.
That
team
actually made me
weekend."
hate him.
Yeah, he said just they weren't the best team that weekend, and I thought that was as solid as answer as you'll get.
No, that was patronizing. I knew what he meant.
All right, Will, last question before we get you out of here, man. Would you rather be the number 1 pick in the draft, or would you rather win the College World Series? So basically, this is I'm in it for me in my gain, or I'm in it for the team's gain.
Well, I'd take the number 2 pick if it means we get a trophy in Columbia again.
Now, that's not the question, Will.
I would so much rather have a trophy. I really would, just because it's baseball's bigger than one person. Like a pitcher can't win a series. A pitcher can pitch for 9 innings or 7 innings. It's just it takes every.
With that, Will, let me ask you, honest question. We talk to a lot of guys who do, and then there's a lot of guys who don't. The draft board, obviously, your projected top 10 pick right now. Do you pay attention to that at all, or you just do your game and not worry about it?
It's cool to hear, and like people text me and all this stuff, but like my mom's gonna be happy at the end of the day. I'm still gonna be dating the same girl. It's hard work being paid off, and it's being consistent every day, being consistent every week on the mound. I mean, it took a lot to get to this point, and I'm not gonna stop just because one person thinks I'm a top 10 pick. Maybe one person thinks I'll be the last pick. It just, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is I go out there every week and put our team in a position to win.
And that's all you can ask for, man. If you start worrying about what could be or what should be, you lose sight of what's in front of you. And you guys, obviously, with the schedule that you play and the goal that you want to achieve, you got to stay focused on what's in front of you, man. So, Will, before you roll, anything you want to plug or promote before you get out of here?
Barefoot Breeze. Me and 2 buddies, we just went down to Charleston. Today's Monday. We went down Friday and kind of launched it. And I think it's going to be a really successful company. It sells shirts, jackets, hoodies, and it's like soft material, cool colors. And if they didn't ask me to do it, I would give them my money and say, give me all that you have, because it was that comfortable, and just that's the first thing that pops in my head.
It's the holiday season. I mean, I can't think of a better gift than Barefoot Breeze. Where can I find it? Where can I get it?
I don't even know if it's out yet. I mean, there was a shirt in every size and color, and that was it. So I don't even know if it's up yet, running yet.
He's just letting us know. Be ready.
Yeah.
Be ready.
Yeah.
Well,
if it turns into the next Lulu, I want a part of it.
So what are we talking about? Are we talking about active wear? Are we talking about like what kind of?
You can wear it kind of for both. It's
Okay.
like it's good beach clothes. It's good around the house clothes. I mean, it's like they had a normal shirt, a dry fit shirt, a dry fit hoodie, a nice jacket you could wear to dinner, stuff you can play golf in. It was really versatile, and I liked it. They had great colors.
There you go, Randy.
And it
New
was
golf
so
shirt.
comfortable.
There you go.
You got some
So-
orange?
He said every color. He said every color when he started, Randy. They got orange.
I bet they do. I
So,
mean, there was
everybody. Hey,
Salmon.
you'd be surprised. There's some people out there rocking salmon. Don't be hating on salmon.
I would imagine you do.
Salmon is the new coral.
It's
And
the same.
I'd wear them.
I was gonna say, what's
I'd
the
wear 'em both.
difference?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
All right, Will, let me tell everybody, all those Christmas gifts that you haven't bought, just save your money. Just hold on to it and wait. Wait tight, just because it's coming. Barefoot Breeze is coming. Just hold your money. When it's out, you're gonna want it because it's gonna go like hotcakes, man. Will, anything else? Social media, where we can find you? Anything you want to throw out there for people?
Instagram, I don't really understand Twitter, so I guess just Instagram.
Instagram at Will Sanders 32. Or if you want to see what the Gamecocks are doing this season, go to at Gamecock Baseball. Well, dude, it's been a blast. We loved having you. We're definitely going to have to bring you back on because I feel like I'm a part of the crew now. And when South Carolina, the dark horse, shows everybody what's up, you're definitely coming back on to talk about it, man.
Yes, sir. Well, we'd love to have you in a Gamecock hat or jersey or shirt, something. We'll figure it out.
Daniel, I'll meet you
Yeah.
at Founders Park when LSU comes to town. It's a closer drive for you than me. Let's go ahead.
There we go.
Hey, yeah, there's a lot. Before I commit, these guys know I got a lot coming up over the next few months. So committing to that it might be difficult, but that's why I got ESPN Plus, I got SEC Network, I got it all, man. I ain't gonna miss a beat with you, Will. Don't worry about
And don't worry,
that.
he looks 7 foot tall on TV, Daniel.
Oh,
You got
hey,
it.
that's what I like. Nice. All right, Will, we're getting you out of here, man. That's Will Sanders, everybody. We are going to take a break. We're going to plug our sponsors when we come back. We got a lot of headlines to catch up on.